everybody. I'm going to do an iron-on transfer on top of this pour. So I did was I put a couple pieces of wood down here so the iron has a little pressure on it for giving. And my iron-on transfer is ready to go. Here it is. It's for the baby. It says, I love you to the moon and back, sweet dreams. I was going to do it on a black background, like a black and white pour and that, but I found this to be more subtle. I kind of like it, actually. Doesn't even have to be in the middle or whatever. I'm just trying to find a little spot that I like, that I think goes with the design. And I like it up here a little better. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to do something like that. Now, I got my iron hot and ready to go. It says to preheat the material for 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I have an idea, but it says place the design onto the preheated material. So what I'm going to do is pretend like this is my material, obviously, and preheat it this way and get it warmed up a little bit. It says to do that for 10 to 15 seconds. So go for another minute here. And then it says to place the design onto the preheated material. And then it says heat each part of the design for 50 seconds with medium pressure. Oh, nice and warm. Okay, now, see where was I? I know the was there. Okay. All right, so let's just keep going, everybody. You guys out there ever done this? Iron on a pour? I'm having fun anyway. Finally put the dogs up for a little while and so they don't bark at my feet for all my attention the way they do. And if I give them a treat, they still sit at my feet and they'll be like crunching on bones while I'm trying to do this. So, yeah, we don't want to do that. I flip that little rag over because it's warmer on the other side. Can hit that little iron on a little better. This is done. I'm gonna paint the edges maybe. I'll have to take a look at all 4 edges and see if I like what I see. If I don't, then I will paint them. And I'll paint them yellow or black for a nice little pop-a-roo. And then I'm gonna put my finish on it. And I always use pouring medium. It's nice. Gives a nice rubbery feel. It's a very protected as a top coat. I actually love it very much. So I don't have to use a brush. I don't use any kind of spray paints or anything for top coats on something like this. And I can hope that the iron-on doesn't peel off. I did an iron once before, about a year ago, and I actually put that on YouTube. You'll see it. It's a tiny little square. It's one I painted for my granddaughter. It's a little square. It's burgundy with some white paint on there that I blew around, and then I ironed on a little unicorn. But I was new at this, didn't really know what I was doing, didn't pay too much attention to the details, and it ended up peeling up. But she still liked it, and it didn't peel up completely. It just had a little peeling around the edges. So I'm going to take a look at this here. Yep, not quite ready. I got it on high heat. But I have learned, it says here on the iron-on, don't use the steamer. But I know that I've used steam before, and it just works great. See, like this really gets it hot in there, and I don't see a reason why not to use a steamer on it. It really throws that heat out. So it's moist heat. I think it's all right. Everybody. I want to hold it in place just in case it doesn't come up all the way. I need to lay it down just the way it was. Oh, that star didn't catch. All right. Got it, everybody. Ooh, I like very much. Look at that, you guys. Turned out so nice, didn't it? I'm gonna let that cool. And then what I'm gonna do is take it to the kitchen sink and squirt a little cold water on it, seal it pretty good there. And then blow it dry. And then I'm going to put on the finish. And I'll show you that. You won't need this for that. All right, phase 2, everybody. Coming right up. I went and got a little baby's hat that we're taking to the hospital. I'm gonna steam clean this yet though. So I can get it the right color, pretty matching to that hat, so I can give it a little pop and maybe a little dimension to it by putting the blue around the edges. So in order to find that blue, I got my box of blue paints out, and I found my abstract to be one of the best matching colors. It has a pretty good shine to it. I like that. But it's almost like an electric blue. So I didn't want that. I didn't want it to be that electric. Now, what I did was, realizing that this blue is kind of electric looking, it's a little bit darker than what I wanted. I went ahead and got some of this blue cotton, and I put some in a cup, and I mixed it up with the rubbing alcohol because instead of water, because I want it to dry pretty fast. So I'm gonna drop a little bit of that in there and try to mix that up so I can blend the color a little bit. A popping color. So now I'm just mixing that in there. Pour the rest of that in there. Lighten it up a little bit to match the baby's hat. And mix, mix, mix. I don't need to put any other additives in here. A lot of times I just use the paint straight from the bottle and pour it in a cup to use the sponge, because if it's just the edge, I don't need it to be very fluid. I can hear Zeusy in there. He's all happy. He had a nice treat, and he's scratching his back on the bed in there. He's waiting to go for a little bike ride or something. I hear you. I hear you, Zeus. Yes, I do. All right. I think that's going to be just the right amount. A lot of times I'd rather mix too much up, so that way I have the same color and consistency of that. So I think that looks pretty good, you guys. All right. All right, everybody. I put a couple of blue dots in these little yellow stars. And what I've decided to do is not put a top coat on this. I always fear that this sticker's gonna peel up or whatever. And when I did the gray pour, it actually looks like a little bit of a moon surface, so I like that. But I had already covered that. There's a top coat sheen on there already. So I'm gonna leave that, and I'm just gonna take my Vallejo pouring medium and put it all the way around the edges so that has a little protective cover on it. I got Zeus at my feet. This is why it's hard to paint. Hi, Zeus. You're right where I need to be here, see? Hi, baby boy. Hi. Okay. What? You want to go outside now, huh? Okay, let's go outside.